The Galactic Arena trials were supposed to be humanity's introduction to the cosmic pecking order. 100 species, their finest warriors, all competing for the honor of joining the Stellar Confederacy's elite guard. Maya Chen had scraped into the trials by pure luck, a clerical error that no one bothered to correct. She ranked 99th out of 100 contestants. The Zephyrian who placed 100th had 3 broken limbs from a training accident. Maya was essentially the worst functional warrior in galactic history to make it this far. The other species didn't bother learning her name. The 12-foot Krathari warriors dismissed her with contemptuous clicks of their mandibles. The crystalline Vorthak barely registered her existence, their geometric forms refracting light in patterns that suggested boredom. Even the diminutive pixie-like Zilani, standing barely 3 feet tall, looked down on her with their luminescent eyes. Soft skin. Will not survive first trial, rumbled Thok, a Krathari champion whose carapace bore scars from a dozen campaigns. Why do the judges waste time? Maya adjusted her standard-issue combat suit, the only equipment humans were allowed, and said nothing. She'd learned early that talking back only made things worse. The trials themselves were brutal. Combat. Simulations against AI opponents. Endurance tests in hostile environments. Tactical puzzles that required split-second decisions. Maya consistently placed in the bottom 10, occasionally scraping into the bottom 5 when someone else had a particularly bad day. But she kept advancing, not because she was winning, but because the trials weren't elimination-based. They were comprehensive assessments designed to evaluate every possible combat scenario a Confederate guard might face. The final trial was different. The Arena Masters had acquired an apex, a creature so dangerous that even the Confederation's xenobiologists only studied them from orbit. Standing 15 feet tall with obsidian claws and hide that could deflect plasma bolts, apexes were the ultimate predators. They hunted across star systems, treating spacecraft like snacks. This one had been captured during a rare dormancy cycle, transported in cryostasis, and was now being kept in a containment field that flickered ominously. The final trial, announced War Master Kalos, his forearms spreading wide, is simple. Enter the enclosure, survive for 10 minutes. Those who do will be inducted into the guard. Maya watched as the top-ranked contestants went first. Valak, the Invincible, a draconian whose scales had never been pierced, lasted 3 minutes before the apex's tail sent him crashing into the arena wall. Sarath of the Void Claws, who had never lost a blade duel, managed 4 minutes before the creatures. Roar alone knocked her unconscious. One by one, the elite fell. The apex wasn't just physically superior, it was intelligent, adapting to each fighting style, learning from each encounter. By the time Maya's turn came, 99 contestants had failed. The arena reeked of fear pheromones from a dozen different species. She stepped into the enclosure. The apex turned toward her and Maya felt her knees nearly buckle. Up close, the creature was a nightmare made manifest. Its eyes held an ancient intelligence, and when it opened its maw, she could see rows of teeth designed to shear through starship hulls. But something was wrong. The creature's breathing was labored, and there was a slight tremor in its massive frame. As it stalked toward her, Maya noticed the way it favored its left side, how its movements were just a fraction slower than they had been with the previous contestants. It wasn't just tired from the fights, it was sick. Maya had grown up on a farm on New Terra. She'd helped birth calves, nursed injured horses, and raised orphaned wolf pups when their mother died in a winter storm. She recognized the signs of a creature in distress. "Easy," she whispered, raising her hands slowly. "Easy, big one." The apex paused, tilting its massive head. Maya could hear the crowd above muttering in confusion. She took a careful step forward. That's when she saw them. Behind the creature, barely visible in the shadows of the enclosure's far corner, were 2 smaller forms. Cubs. The apex wasn't just defending itself. It was protecting its young. "Oh," Maya breathed. "You're not just a monster, are you? You're a mother." The creature's eyes narrowed, but it didn't attack. Maya began to move, not away from the apex, but in a wide circle around it. She kept her movement slow, non-threatening, always keeping her body angled away from the cubs. The 10-minute timer ticked down. 8 minutes, 7, 6. Maya started humming, an old lullaby her grandmother had sung to her. The sound seemed to resonate strangely in the enclosure, and the apex's breathing began to slow. 5 minutes. 4. The creature was still watching her, but its aggressive posture had shifted. Maya could see exhaustion in its stance, the weight of constant vigilance over its cubs. 3 minutes. Maya sat down. The simple action seemed to break some final barrier. The apex studied her for another moment, then slowly, carefully, settled onto its haunches, not relaxed but no longer ready to spring. 2 minutes. One of the cubs, barely the size of a large dog but already showing wicked claws, crept forward. Its mother made a soft warning sound but didn't stop it. The cub approached Maya cautiously, and she held perfectly still as it sniffed her hand. The timer reached 0. For a moment the arena was silent. Then the crowd erupted, not in cheers but in stunned disbelief. Maya had not only survived, she'd somehow achieved what no warrior in galactic history had managed: peaceful contact with an apex. As the containment field powered down and the arena masters rushed in, Maya felt small paws grip her leg. Both cubs had approached now, seeking comfort from the strange, soft creature who smelled of kindness rather than aggression. The apex mother watched as Maya gently stroked the cubs' nascent manes, and something that might have been approval rumbled in her chest. Later, as the judges deliberated, War Master Kalos found Maya in the contestant quarters. "What you did today," he said, his translator struggling with what sounded like reverence, "it should have been impossible." Maya looked up from the tablet where she'd been reading about apex biology. Sometimes the best way to win a fight is to realize you don't need to fight at all. The War Master's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. The apex and her cubs, the Confederation's scientists have been trying to study their species for centuries. Today, because of you, we learned more than in all our previous research combined. He paused. You didn't rank first in the trials, Maya Chen. You ranked first in something far more important. Understanding that strength isn't always about defeating your enemy. Sometimes it's about protecting what they love. As Maya walked out of the arena complex, she carried with her not just admission to the Confederate Guard, but something rarer: the knowledge that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their ferocity. It was their ability to see beyond the monster to the mother, beyond the enemy to the soul in need of understanding. The galaxy was about to learn what humans had always known. Sometimes the gentlest hand wins the greatest victories.